Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome to round number 3 of the AOR V8 Supercars Championship around Sonoma short circuit in the United States. So, in the previous 2 rounds I finished 6th in both of them, and in this one I'm aiming for another 6th. That would be a good position, would be nice and consistent. So in practice for this race I did about 30 or so laps for practice, maybe a bit more. And my best lap was a 1:15.2. I was aiming for about 1:15.7 in qualifying because you can't always replicate your best laps in qualifying. At least I can't. My qualifying form isn't that good. So as we go through the second sector there, I was marginally up on my best time. Although this qualifying session was really bad for me. I had a little bit of lag, I will blame that, which put me off a couple of times and made my laps dirty. And this lap, along with lap 4, was my only 2 clean laps, and they weren't very good ones either. So going into the second to last corner, we're about a quarter of a second up on our previous lap, but it was only a 1:16.9, which wasn't really anywhere near how good I can be around this track. Obviously aiming for 1:15.7, so I'm about 1.2 seconds off. So coming through the final kink over the start finish line, I managed a 1:16.1, which really wasn't good by my standards. And you can see there, put me down in 15th position. If I had done a 1:15.7, like a low 7, I would have been 5th. So that's how close that middle of the grid is. So let's go off the line here. In 15th position, we're going to move off the line. T6 Bullet there, pole sitter in the previous race. That is ex-Shuffle there, Jordan. Stalling off the line, so that gives me another position. I'm around the outside of T6 Bullet into turn 1, and I actually managed to get the jump on him. The my two Mercedes teammates making a bit of contact there. I'm on the inside of Regamus into the left-hander. I will give him the line here. Not T6 Bullet, sorry, Callum, my other teammate, getting fired off there, so it grants me another position. So Regamus just ahead of me now in 11th, so I've gained 3 positions off the start so far. Into the hairpin, quite a tricky corner to get right. It's very tight, you've got to be very patient on the throttle on the exit, and through the S's now, a very tricky section as well. You've got to go over the curb to really maximise your speed here, and I was a bit tentative to begin with in this race. It took me a little bit of time to sort of get my consistency down. So into the penultimate corner, going over the curb on the entry. I'm going to go around Regamus because he gets a terrible exit through there. I'm going to come across to block Regamus, almost go into Shuffle, who's coming back through the pack. He's on my inside. He's going to come through eventually anyway, so I might as well just let him slot into position ahead of me there, and I can sort of use him as a force field through the field. I can sort of use him, sort of keep him in front of me, and keep up with him hopefully, and try and follow him through the pack. So we are at the start of lap 2. I've gained 3 positions from my qualifying position. My qualifying was absolute dog shit. It was probably the worst qualifying I've done. I was just really quite nervous. It was really, really strange. I just wasn't really concentrating properly. So now that that's done though, I can sort of settle down into the race and hopefully try and get past a couple of these cars. There's quite a lot of cars here, and you saw on the order at the end of qualifying just how close the grid was in terms of lap time. So it shows that the race will probably be close, and as long as I can get some consistent laps down, then I should be able to make some positions here, which I'm going to do. Going past Jamie into the second to last corner, I slow down on the apex so that he can't do the cutback on me. Quite cleverly, and I'm through into 11th, into the hairpin, down into second gear, get it as close as you can to the curb, get on the throttle as early as possible but without sliding out, as I managed to avoid there. You can see there that Shuffle has gained a good 2 seconds on me there from the battling. So we're going to move forward to the end of lap 3. You can see here it's hotted up quite nicely. The pack has bunched up quite a bit here. So this is the back end of the top 10. We've got Shuffle ahead of us. I've pretty much caught up with him now. It was only a lap, and I've almost gone to the back of him there. Broke a little bit late, and Jamie's going to appear on my right hand side as he does there, but that's going to give me the line on the left hand side into the final kink, and he's going to let me slot in just ahead as we go into turn 1, a very tricky corner to get right. You have to get as close to the tyre wall as you can, and then get into second gear, over this curb if possible. Again, throttle as early as you can, but try not to get the car sideways. So in the lead we've got Kerry in the Nissan, very quick around this track, did a 1:14.2 in practice, and he looked like the man to beat. So Troy getting a little bit narrow as he gets passed by Shuffle, and that was a McFillan in the wall there, so he's going to lose quite a lot of positions, and he actually has to pit as a result of that damage. Jamie up my inside, but that's giving me the line for this corner. It is quite hard to pass around this track because you really do have to get the move really fully done, because the next corner is almost always going to be the other way, meaning if you are alongside you have a chance into the next corner if you manage to go around the outside. So into the penultimate corner, I've lost a lot of time there through the S's, a good second or so, and that is Troy in 9th, just ahead of me. He's going to go up the inside of Oasis in a decent looking move. That was STI Callum ramming into the, well, I say ramming, tapping into the back of me. Luckily it didn't affect me. The race is actually very close behind as well as in front. So in first place we've got Kerry, as I said. In second we've got Sam, also very quick around this track, and it looks like Shuffle will be getting through the pack to try and join them as early as he can. So Troy and Oasis battling there. It took me a couple of laps to really get a couple of good laps down and get close to them, as I do here. So it's lap 9 now, and I've closed up right to the back of Troy. I'm going to get almost get a better exit than him. Couldn't quite get the power down because he was there. And through the second left-right combination, he's going to take a decent corner there. I'm right behind him. I'm right on his tail now. Not going to go into the back of him. Wait for a decent overtaking opportunity. This is quite a good overtaking place, but I didn't actually elect to overtake many people at that corner. It can be done there. It's a very sharp corner, a long braking zone, which is good for overtaking normally, but I normally elected to go for overtakes into the hairpin at the end of the circuit, as we're coming up to now. So you need to get a good exit from this corner, so get as close to the apex as you can. You can see Troy went a little bit wide there, and I'm going to be right on his tail. He's not going to go defensive, so I'm going to go down the inside using the Toyota banner on the left hand side as my braking marker. I'll show you that again on the next lap. So through into 8th position, we're behind Oasis now. That is Shuffle, I believe, ahead, or it might be Urban's Octane. I can't remember exactly what position he was in by this point. So we move ahead by 1 lap. So coming into this corner again, over the curb, and then over the curbs on the inside as well. So I'm going to look at the red Toyota banner on the left hand side. Halfway down that is where my braking point is, and luckily that has given me a good entry into the corner past Oasis on the exit. We get a better exit just about. That means I can slot in just ahead before we go through the final kink over the line into lap 11. So we're going to do a 25 lap stint, which means we can do a one stop strategy for this race just about. So that is Jordan McGonigal just ahead of us in 6th position. So we're going to fast forward to lap 15 here, and I'm right on his tail. It did take me quite a few laps to get past Jordan, so as I said earlier, it is quite hard to get a decent overtaking. It's quite hard to set up a decent overtaking move if you're going to do it cleanly. So I'm going to go around his outside as we approach the penultimate corner. Get on the brakes and get on the brakes quite sharp to make sure that he can't do the cutback. I'm going to come back across him to make him think twice about going down the inside. I'll brake a little bit late. That's Jamie going around my outside, and then Jordan's going to appear on my right hand side there as he does, but I've got the momentum through that corner on the exit to get through into 6th position. So our next target is Urban's Octane in 5th. So 6th position is where I've been finishing pretty consistently this season, well 100% consistently, because I finished there in both races so far, but I think I could do one better here. We've got Urban's Octane ahead. He's having a very good race up in 5th. In 4th we've got Shadow Demon, who's just round the corner there in the white Nissan Altima. They're having a very good race also. So there's Jamie right behind me. I make a bit of a mistake there. He goes ahead and into turn 5 gets through to 6th. I'm down into 7th now. Jordan McGonigal still right behind me, but later on in that lap Jamie decided to let me back past. He didn't actually make contact with me there. It's not because he thought he made contact. We were actually talking quite a lot throughout the race, and he just thought that perhaps it was better if I stayed in front, set the laps to try and catch up with Urban's Octane. We could work together to try and catch up, and eventually we do make some ground. So this is lap 25 now. We're going to go into the pit lane here. So the pit lane is on the left hand side, so you can dive in at full speed and the car will slow you down. So coming out of the pit lane, that is Urban's in front of me, so I gained a little bit, and that in the white Nissan, that is the leader of the race, KBTK92. So he's come around to lap us. That's how quick he is around it, although he hadn't pitted by that point. So through into lap 27, Jamie's pitted now, and that's Jamie coming out of the pits. I'm going to go round his outside just about. So that was a very close cutback, or pit lane cutback, if you want to call it that. And Jamie not quite able to get past me there. Although coming into this corner, I do make a bit of a mistake, go wide onto the grass, and that grants him 7th position. Although at this point, Phil hadn't pitted. He was the one who went off wide on this corner early in the race. Had to pit for damage, and then he would have to pit again. He was on a 2-stop strategy for this race because of his damage. So this isn't a true 8th position, it's actually a 7th once he pits. So for the time being, I was actually keeping up with Jamie quite a bit, well, quite alright, should I say. We were not perhaps as quick as we should have been, because we were catching up with Urban's Octane at quite a decent rate. I took a very poor line through there, which means I've got a very bad exit. So we sort of messed about, I think, for too long with each other. That sounds a bit rude. I don't mean it in that way. We sort of made a lot of mistakes, and you can see there the gap of about 2 seconds between Jamie and Urban's Octane, and it took a couple of laps for us to get a bit closer. So this is lap 32 now. So coming through turn 1 into turn 2. So Jamie getting a bit of a poor exit from there, and I'm going to go up the inside into turn 3. He's given me the room. He's not going to fight it into turn 4. So that's very good driving, because he knows that I'm not going to wipe him out, and we can catch up with Urban's Octane together as we were doing earlier in the race. So we're going to skip to lap 34. It's going to be a role reversal here, because I'm going to be the one with the poor exit. So coming into turn 3, I sort of don't turn into turn 4, and then he's going to go up my inside and take 6th position back. And you can see here, Urban's Octane is sort of getting a bit more comfortable now in 5th position as we start making quite a lot of mistakes. So we're going to run here for a lap or so and see just how consistent I can be. So coming into the Estes section, quite a tricky section this one to get right. I like to dip into the excess road there, go over the curb here, get on the brakes quite early through that corner, get the weight distribution onto the front wheels, which helps you turn into the right hander of the S's. And again here, get on the brakes, it makes the car lean forwards, gives you better grip turning into that fast right hander. Into the hairpin, halfway down that Toyota banner is where I was braking, and through the final hairpin. So I'm in 7th position. It looks as though we can get 5th here still, and fast forward 3 laps, and this is Jamie going for a move down the inside into the hairpin. He gets it done, gets a little bit wide, and that's given Octane the opportunity to cut back on the exit and reclaim 5th position. So a couple of laps later, so we're on lap 38 here, we're going to skip. No, we're not going to skip, sorry, we're not going to skip. We are going to stay with this, because this battle gets a little bit good here. So 3 of us line astern here, and Jordan McGonigal in 8th, a bit of a gap behind, so about 1,000 feet. I think he lost quite a lot of time all of a sudden. He was fairly close, about 300 feet behind, then all of a sudden lost a good 600 feet or so. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it sort of suited me, because once you know you've got that gap behind you, you can sort of forget about defending and continue to look going forwards and trying to set good laps. So Jamie sizing up Urban's Octane here for a move into the hairpin. Can't really do a move here unless they make a mistake, as Jordan did earlier in the race and as Regamus did. So you're going to get a good exit through this one into the hairpin, and he has got a good exit, and Urban's got a bad exit. He's got the inside this time, hasn't outbroken himself, kept the inside line, kept Urbans on the outside, which is a very sensible way of going about your overtaking, and that has granted Jamie 5th. That's not exactly what I wanted to see, because I was hoping to get past Jamie before he got past Urbans, meaning I could get past Urbans first and then potentially get away. That's normally the way I like to operate when coming up to overtake people. But a couple of laps later, or the next lap, I tried to go for a repeat move. So Jamie there has got a bit of a gap, which is what I wanted to do, but I couldn't quite manage it. So I'm going to go up the inside. Urban's leaving me the space on the inside, very good driving from him. And that was a good move up the inside, a late braking move, what we like to see. So we're going to move ahead here to the final lap. It's lap 49. We've got about 300 feet to Urban's Octane, so we've got to wait a little bit. And this is about as close as I got in the race of the last 10 laps to getting past Jamie. He did make a couple of mistakes. One notable mistake down this corner here, but I wasn't able to capitalise because I was always about a second or so behind, not quite able, almost going to that wall, not quite able to get past him when he made his mistakes, because I was just a little bit too far behind when he did. So again here you see I'm getting a little bit, losing my concentration a little bit towards the end of this race. So it is an hour and 2 minutes into the race, so we've only got half a lap left now. So you see there again Jamie making a mistake coming through the S's, and perhaps if I was closer I might have been able to capitalise on that. And again he goes very wide here, and once again if I was close I might have had a chance into this final corner, because I do get very close here into the final corner. But it was a very good race from Jamie. I think we both raced quite well, getting through the pack together. I wasn't quite able to beat him in the end. But overall, 6th position, another 6th position in this AOR V8 Supercars Championship. Not too bad given where I started. So there's the final classification. Kerry winning by a landslide with Sam in 2nd. And Jordan, or aka X Shuffle, managed to get through into 3rd position. A very good drive from Shadow Demon in 4th. And obviously a good drive from Jamie in 5th. So that's quite a pleasing result. My teammates not having the best results there. Regamus did leave the race about halfway through with damage. STI Callum in 10th there. He did get a move done on the final lap when Kerry's ghost car, or not ghost car, his AI driving car sort of messed up the race for everyone. But that is the way it goes sometimes. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I do apologise for the quality of my commentary sometimes. I do have to get this out quite quickly. I won't be racing next week, unfortunately, because I have a very busy week at work. But I will link in the description a couple of guys' channels who will be posting highlights of the race. So including Kerry, who won this race. There's a couple of other guys who do post highlights as well. So you could still watch the race through their channels. So I hope you have enjoyed this one, guys. Remember to hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.